Welcome to the Creative REI podcast, your go-to hub for all things real estate, business, life, travel, etc. I'm your host, Dante, joined by my co-host, Ed, both real estate professionals on a mission to connect and educate. This podcast is sponsored by PropStream, the most trusted provider of comprehensive real estate data nationwide. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Creative REI Experience. I'm Dante. This is Ed.
What up, what up?
Today's episode is brought to you by PropStream, the most trusted provider of comprehensive real estate data nationwide. I love PropStream. I use it. Realtors like my man Emiliano, which we're going to be introducing here shortly, he uses it. So if you're a realtor, you're an investor, and you don't have PropStream, get it. DM us at the Creative REI and get 7 days free with our link. And with all further ado, we got our man Emiliano. He's a local fix and flipper out of San Diego. He decided he wanted to go big or go home, and so my man Emiliano went straight to $1 million flips. We need like a applaud thing, like
like a little soundtrack.
Yeah, like something we could just like push something like clapping. We're gonna work on that. So Emiliano,
what's up, man?
Fix and flipping multi-million-dollar properties. Why multi-million-dollar? Why not do like the affordable housing?
We kind of just fell into it. So
Closer to the
I guess
mic.
A little bit closer.
Yeah.
I guess it has to start with our business model.
Mm-hmm.
It's not so much about the price point. It's more about everything else, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Affordable housing, great. Great place to be, but the competition is just crazy.
It's saturated, is what you're saying.
It's very saturated, very cutthroat, especially finding off-market deals with the amount of money that other people are pumping into it.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty hard to get a deal, not going to lie.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I started. And then also just rolling into what I'm doing now with the people that I've been fortunate to talk to. They've all said the same thing. Whether you do a $400,000 transaction or $1 million transaction, it's still the same headaches.
It's the same type of work, right?
Right.
And so I like you touched on off-market properties. When you say that, there's obviously like bigger fish, so it's like other people spending probably more money, probably getting more leads, or taking the leads that you potentially have, or both.
Yeah, market share in general.
Okay.
Of how much money is pumped into finding these deals.
Yeah.
I got a quick question for you. I know you're briefly in the beginning. You said we. Why? What do you mean by that exactly? Do you run with a team? Are you with a brokerage?
Yeah. Okay. So first thing first, it's really hard to do it all on your own.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Facts.
You can, but you gotta have pretty much all the elements that go into fix and flipping that we can touch on in a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But so when you have a team, it's obviously much easier. It's just easier. When I say we, it's a component of me, two other partners, a designer, and the contractors and workers that we know and we trust that we work with.
Cool.
And I think it's the best way to run. I'm also a realtor, so I'm a realtor and fix and flipper.
Okay. So if you got a house you want to sell him, or if you want to get your house listed, or you're looking to buy and you just like him and he's got pretty eyes,
or if you just want to get into real estate, we have a really cool brokerage.
All right.
That I'm part of. It's a local brokerage. Shout out to Broadpoint.
Okay.
Sometimes people, when they hear local brokerage, they think small. They think, I don't know. It's like very unattractive nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
But
versus like a Keller Williams.
Yeah, Keller Williams, 21st Century.
Coldwell Banker.
Compass, all them. It's just so funny because it's just marketing at the end of the day. They just do better marketing. But when it comes down to fundamentals and learning contracts and actually when you have troubles going through escrows, you have the broker and the owner there at your disposal 24/7. So they're able to handle some of those situations for you, and you can like use that time to focus on other things.
In essence, it's more intimate with
more
local
support
team than it is to have. That's funny you say that. So I got a friend, she's an agent, and she went from a big agency to a smaller one, and she liked the smaller one because of the fact that whenever she needed to call, they're always answering. Versus, there's some pretty big brokerages out here. You might even see them on the back of buses.
I'm gonna talk some smack right now.
You don't have to name drop, but there's some big brokerages or teams.
No. I'm just show you the difference. So EXP, it's honestly one of the biggest. It is the biggest brokerage right now in San Diego. They've just completely taken market share. They're eating up. So if you look at brokerages, that's like another business. You can look at it like a bakery or like a gym. It's just another business that you could buy. You could buy that book of business. So EXP is buying out a lot of these other brokerages, and their whole thing is virtual. They're like the sustainable brokerage model apparently, because the overhead is crazy on these brokerages, and they have a 6% franchise fee. So it's just like
for EXP.
No. For the major brokerages, a lot of them are like have a 6% franchise fee,
like annually.
No, every deal.
So they're taking 6% on top of the 6% commission. So it's 6% of your commission,
no. So typically, realtors get 2.5% commission on a sale,
depending on.
So it's like let's say it's 10 G's. They're taking 6% of those 10 G's.
So 6% of your commission.
Yeah, of my commission. Yeah.
From the brokerage, whether it be the local brokerage or the big one.
No. Well, that's only the big one.
Okay.
Because they have a name, so it's a franchise. They're franchises, so they have a franchise fee.
Doesn't EXP do profit sharing though? It's almost like network marketing.
So EXP is a little bit different, and they have like this innovative. It's kind of smokes like it's. I don't want to say it's legit. Like not legit, but they paint it a certain way. They give you shares of their company, but at the end of the day, those shares, like it's subjective what they're actually.
Sounds
worth.
like a pyramid scheme.
It kind of is. It kind of is. But so back to where I was going. I mean, I'm just about support.
Hold on. Okay. Let me real quick, because I got a lot of EXP agent friends. Not to knock EXP. The model, it works. Okay. It works. It's just not for everybody
at that level.
Right.
I mean, when you're dealing with 1,000 agents, you're dealing with multiple office. It's easy to go out of business if you're not managing the individual offices and making sure that the numbers are there to cover your overhead. Because essentially, agents get free offices from the brokerages, and that's all on the overhead for the brokerage. But back to what I was getting to, support. So EXP, if you want support, you want to talk to your broker. You have to go on EXP World, which it's like the metaverse, and like you have to like sit there and wait.
Yeah,
like
I heard
20,
about that.
30 minutes. It's like that's kind of ridiculous
for a virtual thing where you just make a phone call.
Yeah,
and be like, "Hey, I have a question."
It's like if you want to do Instagram business, real estate, go to EXP. If you actually want to do deals, like and make sure you're taking care of your clients, make sure you're actually making more money. Splits are better at local brokerages, and you get more support. So the overhead is bigger, but they don't really care on the overhead as long as they're making something on top of it.
Right.
And my brokerage particularly, they have like this huge portfolio of property management. So like the real estate thing is actually their second thing, and it's just like it's all profit for them.
So question, you have splits. You guys, one person brings in a deal, but the whole team splits it, correct?
No. Splits is what you give to the brokerage and what you take.
Your portion versus the brokerage. Okay, that makes sense. And then management, you guys manage what? Long-term, short-term, all of the above? What do you guys charge?
I'm not on the property management.
You don't handle that.
That's a whole separate side. Yeah, that's a whole separate side. But they just have such a big portfolio that's like I'm just saying the real estate part is their it's just all profit for them. It's their kind of side thing, which is a little crazy, but
gotcha. I kind of want to just follow up on my first question. Let's say, looking back to when you first started getting into the real estate industry, as someone that's, looking to, do maybe their first flip or don't know if they want to, go the agent route, what are like some tips or what are some suggestions that you know now, looking back when you, were getting started?
So first things first, my biggest thing in those scenarios where you're going to take something on or you want to, do anything is play the cards that you're given. Like start there. Like what do you have at your disposal? Who do you know? Reach out to them. Okay. Are they somewhat in the lead of the business? They don't have to be the top person in that space because the top person is not going to pour the same value that the 50th person is.
Right.
You know?
Somebody told me find what you're good at and stick to that.
Yeah.
Like
That too.
Me, it was lead gen and finding the people who wanted to sell.
Mm-hmm.
And for somebody else, it could be making the offers for the contracts,
right.
or I don't know,
TC
right.
work.
Yeah, transaction coordination.
Yeah, and look at the cards that you're given, and then focus on what you're good at, right? And that will kind of lead you in the way, and on your way there, you just use them as stepping stones to where you really want to get to. Even though if you don't know where you really want to get to, you'll find it as you progress in whatever space you go.
What are you good at?
What am I good at? I'm just like good at putting like things together.
You're like a connector? Is
like
that a word?
Connector.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
kind of like what Travis Scott says, I'm the glue,
I'm the glue, okay.
Put things
almost
together.
like a leader, would you say?
Like not necessarily a leader, kind of, I mean.
Like an operator.
More like the visionary operator.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not the best lead. I'm just like, I'm the jack of all trades, and essentially, but really what I'm good at is just like putting things together.
You're like a professional middleman type of. So like wholesalers, I kind of look at wholesaling as like professional middleman, and if you have the right relationships built, you'd be a really good middleman, right? So it's just connecting people with two things, and then you got the contract to hold it. So
pretty much,
essentially, you're good at finding the right people to put into the right place to do what needs to be done, essentially, right?
Yeah, the adequate person, maybe not the best person. That's really what I'm working on is how do you recruit the best people?
Right.
And what I've found is, when Apple's taking employees from Microsoft, they're just paying them a ridiculous amount.
Yeah.
And
more money.
Yeah, I'm not at that level. So I got to find ways where I got to align myself with what they want to do. And talking about my partners and dealing with the cards that you're given, the person who I actually started my residential real estate. So first I actually started wholesaling. My buddy, Ryan Brunton, shout out to Ryan Brunton, he was working for Carlos Reyes.
The All In guys.
Yeah, All In. He was working for the All In guys. Yeah, out of Phoenix. He was out there. First he was going to NAU. Yeah. And then somehow he ended up in Phoenix and working for them. And I was in the middle of my first venture. I was like towards the end of that, I was reconsidering what I was doing because I would have to pivot my business model in a completely different way and kind of restructure everything, start from the bottom. I was having problems with my COO. And so he literally just told me about wholesaling. And then I guess if we go a little bit more back, real estate has always been on my mind. It's just I've always heard of it coming across people. It just seems to be the best way to gain freedom.
Yeah.
And like from
what
my
was
dad,
the previous venture before? You keep saying previous venture. What was that?
It was a social. It was a music platform with social elements into it. At the time, it was in 2017. At the time, SoundCloud was actually going out of business. They're the only platform that was free and served unsigned and underground artists.
Yeah,
so if that was going to go away,
big.
and Chance the Rapper got big.
A lot of people got big off SoundCloud.
A ton of people, and they were going out of business. That was on the big headlines, and I was like, okay, I'm a huge hip hop head, so I'm like really into music, and I was like, dude, that's going away. Like, there's this whole unserved community. Why don't I just take a jab at it? And I had a buddy that I went to college with, and he had done an app. I had some money, so I guess even before that, I would resell stuff and just find ways to make money here and there. I'd work construction with my dad. That's really like the beginning.
Yeah.
But so I was always good about saving money up, and I had this little nest, and I never knew for what it was. And like I kind of saw this opportunity, and it was kind of a long shot. But as Gary Vee said it, and I wasn't really applying to it at the time because I didn't even know who he was. But you take your biggest risk when you're the youngest because you have nothing to lose. And like, that was my Facebook, attempt to make something like that.
Like the older you get, the harder it gets to want to take risks.
Yeah, especially that big of a risk when the odds are 98 to 1.
How old are you now?
So I'm 25. That
25.
Yeah, 25. That was at 19.
Sheesh.
19. So 19 years old.
Would you say you always had like a hustler mindset? Would you say?
Yeah, just a hustler mindset. I guess we go even like I would sell Yu-Gi-Oh cards, like duplicate Yu-Gi cards or duplicate Pokemon cards.
So like fake cards?
No. Like if I had
say duplicate sounds like fake.
Oh, sorry. Like if I had my collection and
it's like Louis Vuitton, but it's not Louis Vuitton.
It had the whole monogram. I had the Gucci monogram on the back.
We added the hologram in there.
No, I had a little collection of whatever. I had doubles. I guess it's doubles of I would sell and like super cheap. Like I think this was like elementary, like 4th grade. I think it was like 50 cents or whatever. Something stupid. But yeah, I guess I always kind of had a little bit of a hustler mindset. It was more, I guess, more like security. I don't know. I guess growing up, my dad was like a hard worker, always had money, and like money equals security. So it wasn't necessarily of having the things, but just having the security of like I could buy whatever I want those shoes, I could buy them. Yeah. And it was also a good way of practicing. I'm messing up right now.
What's it called?
Practicing.
It's on the tip of your tongue.
Oh,
you're almost there.
Jesus.
Money management?
Yeah.
Okay.
Discipline. Sorry.
Discipline.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you could buy it, but if you bought it, you knew that you didn't have that money to do anything. So I don't know. I like when I would do my resale stuff, I would be saving up money. I never knew for what. I saw that as an opportunity. I took a long shot on it. Ended up 2.5 years later, it ended up not working out. In the middle of, I either had to pivot and raise more money, or I just cut all ties and moved on to the next thing. But I always saw real estate as an end goal. I always saw it as like, you know what, if this works out and I sell it, I'm gonna use that money and buy some real estate. So in that time, I was like, you know what, why don't I just do real estate right now?
Like full time?
Yeah, like do it right now, fail for 6 years, and then I'll be in somewhat a good space. And also, why don't I do real estate right now and make other people money or other people wealthy? And in the time, I'm going to learn how to do that. And in 10 years, I can start working on that wealth for myself.
Nice.
So that, I don't know, that was kind of the mindset behind it. It kind of clicked for me. Instead of like, oh, I need to have the money first before I do it. It's like, no, why don't you just jump into it? And then I had dropped out of college to do the startup, and so
you're like the Napster guys,
dude. So those guys were my idols. Yeah. Sean Parker.
So they're like college dropouts, and then they like started Napster, and then or like Mark Zuckerberg did Facebook.
A funny thing that actually Steve Jobs took a jab at it too.
You look like one of those guys that would drop out of school and start like an app that got famous. I could see that.
I did it, but then it didn't get famous.
I know, but I could just say you kind of look like that type of guy that would. I could like see he's got the look, if you will. You look like you got a question, Ed.
But I'm just thinking about your statement. But I think are you a first generation Mexican?
Yeah, dude.
Latino Mexican.
Yeah. Latino.
Oh, it's Mexican Independence Day today.
Yeah.
It is,
so
bro.
we gotta bring a Mexican guest today.
Yeah. So
wear a Mexican shirt.
In honoring Independence,
yeah.
And in honoring Mexican Independence Day, we brought a Mexican.
Yeah, it's perfect too.
What part of Mexico are you from?
So I'm actually not from Mexico. I'm from here, but my parents are from Jalisco.
Okay.
2 hours from Guadalajara, so explains my fair skin. But yeah, they're from Mexico. I'm first generation born here in the U.S. My dad. Yeah, he came over when he was 16. Cool story behind it, how he was able to like get papers to come over here through his sister. But yeah, no, he came over here, and it's funny because like back in the day, it was actually really easy to get papers. So he came over here, he had papers, and he was working like on almonds or walnuts.
Like a field?
Yeah, in the field, like on trees and stuff. Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. So at 16, he came here by himself at 16. Yeah. So, and he kind of just started in construction, did his thing. He actually bought 2 houses. He lost them.
In foreclosure or?
So it was during the 2008
crash.
No, 2000 pop, the .com.
Oh, he lost in the .com boom.
Yeah, in the 2000s.
Dang, that's crazy.
Oh, no, sorry. 90s. No, it was the 90s during Clinton. It was before that.
Okay. So like before 2000.
Yeah, it was in the 90s, early 90s. Yeah, he had one in Escondido, one in Vista. He didn't know how. He doesn't know what holding costs are.
He knows how to make. He knows how to make money, but he didn't understand.
No, he knew how to work.
The numbers.
No, he knows how to work.
Yeah,
he's such a hard worker. Even though he's failed so much, he's such a hard worker that his wins have exceeded his failures.
Yeah.
But he's like, I'm an idiot. I'm just a hard worker. I'm like,
that's what I'm saying. He knows how to get money, but the second part of managing that, he didn't really have that down.
Yeah, the operating part.
Yeah.
The operating. Yeah, he has, he just finished building 12 units in Mexico, 2 hours away from Puerto Vallarta.
Sheesh.
Like, he actually helped him freaking build these things, and he's 70 years old, dude.
So wait, do y'all have property in Mexico too?
I guess not really. Like, he had a house. He had a house when he was younger. And then he retired and he just went down there. He was like, the living cost up here is too much. I'm retired. I kind of want to do something. I want to work, but I don't want to work for anybody. I want to do my own thing. So he just took his money. He bought a piece of land down in an area where he really liked. Mm-hmm. And I even told him, like, hey, why don't we fix and flip properties over here? But
he
just really liked. What's that?
In the States.
In the States, yeah. No, he's just a crazy guy. Like, you can't.
So he owns land in Mexico now.
Yeah, he had land, yeah, and then he put apartments on it. So he put 12.
So 12 and he lives in one of the apartments now, or?
Yeah, he lives in one of the apartments.
Genius.
And then
fucking genius.
So he actually just moved into. So he just finished building it in probably end of May, and then it took him like 3 months before he's like, all right, I'm bored. I'm not working anymore. I'm bored.
Yeah,
I need to go do something.
I mean, he's got people renting it out, paying for it now, right?
Yeah. So he's like, I'm bored. So then he moved back to his hometown, which is like 2 hours away, to work on his buddy's house just to do something.
So okay, hold on real quick. So you're like, Dad, invest in the U.S. And he's like, no.
Yeah.
You would never invest in Mexico?
No, I would actually.
Yeah, I was like, why not?
It was actually, I just didn't like the dynamic of it, like the little town.
Maybe you just don't like the location.
Yeah, it was a location. Yeah, I told him that I want American dollars. I don't want pesos.
Beach towns.
Yeah.
We went to Puerto Rico.
Where the tourism is. Yeah, so actually in Tulum right now, they're building this train line, which is just like monumental. Mm-hmm. And there's going to be so much tourism down there. There's a lot of opportunity right now. And if your parents are born in Mexico, you can get dual citizenship really easily.
Do you have dual citizenship?
I'm working on it.
What? Ed's got it.
Yeah.
Oh, you got it, bro?
Yeah.
Perfect. So you can own land without any type of ties.
Yeah.
Because if there's certain parameters, if you're not a citizen, mm-hmm. Of how long you can own it and where you can own it and stuff like that.
I got this guy, Spencer Hu. Shout out Spencer Hu. He does only international real estate. Wow. And so they do insane. It really is. We saw some of these projects. I think it was Tulum.
Right, yeah.
Oh, wow.
And it's like these like townhouses with pools on the top. And then there's connecting tubes to each house. So you can go swimming in your pool and you can go through the tube into the neighbor's pool, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, you just put some money down and then when it's done being built. And then insane. Puerto Rico, the guy told us for the Airbnb we stayed at, if you get anything by the water, you can't lose.
Wow.
And how much is real estate in Mexico by the water right now? It's like
dirt cheap.
Stupid dirt cheap. Imagine if you got to California back in the 70s is what Mexico is now.
Yeah, basically. Mm-hmm. Basically. Also, we're going to be doing a lot of trade with Mexico. They have a ton of produce. Mm-hmm. And time again, just like here in North County, Fallbrook was the avocado place of the world.
Yeah.
Vista was the strawberry, you know. And those places have migrated down
to
south.
Mexico.
Yeah, because it's just cheaper to grow it there and then just ship it wherever you need to.
Distribute and all that stuff.
Yeah, it really is. But
you got any questions, Ed?
Yeah. I know we briefly mentioned that you are first generation Mexican. Yeah. What do your parents say about your real estate ventures? Just dropping out of school.
It's a scam.
They don't know, bro. They don't know.
Yeah, they just kind of just trusted you, or how they react.
Like the like real estate ventures or just getting into real estate.
Right.
So funny thing, shout out to my business partner, Giovanni. So he actually was so he went to school with my brother. They grew up. Then his brother is a soccer coach. He used to be a soccer coach. His brother coached my other brother. So, and then we had a situation where we almost sold our house, and he kind of was the agent that we leaned on. And
cool.
So he was kind of like the family agent. So I was doing real estate by myself, and I had told my dad about it. And he actually told me, he's like, hey, reach out to Giovanni. And that's what I'm talking about with the cars that you dealt with. Mm-hmm. I at the time, I didn't want to, I was trying to do wholesaling.
By yourself?
So my buddy, Ryan told me about it. So then I started doing it by myself, just got some lists. I actually would use PropStream. It's really good. Low key.
Shout out PropStream.
Low key, like the MLS. I don't know. A lot of people like hype up the MLS and this and that. And, you got to get a realtor to get access to MLS. MLS is kind of like trash. So outdated. So
it's trash. Saturated.
It's got great data. Great data, but somebody like PropStream extracts that data and puts it in a better UI, a better user experience.
It's way easier to use,
easier to format, and more information, easier to navigate. Like I feel like I'm in the freaking 90s.
Yeah.
Like when I'm using the
MLS
my portal, and like running comps and stuff. But like PropStream is great. Zillow has really good data too.
Yeah, it's getting better at it.
Yeah, like also, don't go super crazy on costs or whatever using these other crazier ones. Like PropStream is perfect, and Zillow, you can get a lot of really accurate data from that. But the thing about the MLS, though, that we have like this tax roll thing, and then like we're able to find a lot of good stuff there. But
what do you mean by the tax roll thing with good stuff?
So you could find, I guess it's similar to like a PropStream.
Okay.
Like what PropStream offers. But sometimes there's, I guess
PropStream can be not all the way up to date because they always update like every maybe 30 days or something.
Right.
Where MLS
I guess I haven't
is like
compared
instant.
them side by side, but I use the tax roll a lot. What is it that?
What do you use the tax roll for?
Ownership, knowing if there's any liens.
Okay.
Mortgage. I kind of calculate mortgage balance, see when they've refied, if they've listed the house.
It's got all that information on there.
All that information all at once. Yeah. So, yeah, that's good. That's good. But anyways,
we started off. You did want to reach out to Giovanni at first.
Oh yeah,
because you were wholesaling with Ryan.
Yeah, I didn't because
you're trying to figure it out on your own.
I was trying to do wholesale, and I was like, dude, I don't want to do traditional real estate and like somebody not buy a house because of the color of the fence.
Right.
I was like, I want to be more transactional.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to get into this feely side of real estate because I just felt like that wasn't me. But I had the interview with him, and I was like, hey, man, like, this is what I'm doing. I'm already, like, wholesaling. I understand how to, like, kind of run the little business of, getting data, making the calls, the scripts, how to follow up, how to make an offer. Because those are all little things that it's really foreign to a realtor. So that's kind of, I guess, what I had. I had this was probably like at the time like 7 months of wholesale knowledge, I guess. Yeah. That I had to bring to the table, but it was much different than a realtor that's never even heard of really wholesaling.
Right. Or they
have, but they don't even know really what it is.
They just get taught what they're told, which is wholesalers are bad.
Yeah, exactly. There's a negative connotation to it. So they're like, oh yeah, they're just like out to make money or whatever.
Yeah, wholesalers don't care about the seller.
Clients.
They just want to steal money from them. They're stealing their houses.
They don't even deal with real contracts. Their contracts are not even valid.
Since we're on the subject of this, let's talk about this. I think this should be a discussion. Yeah. Realtors will not list your house if it's not looking a certain way that they want, right?
Yeah, there's like this whole deep other side of being. I'd say it's more prevalent with like older realtors or realtors that have been in the game for like. If you hear anybody be like, oh, I'm a realtor. I've been a realtor for 20 years, 30 years.
I hate hearing that.
It's like, to me, low key now, to me, that's a red flag. Because that's what they're saying. That's their way. That's their value.
I know what I'm talking about.
I know what I'm talking about.
They're too prideful.
But if you actually talk to people that have been doing it for 20, 30 years that are sharp and do deals,
they'll talk to you about it.
No, they'll say that every market is different and you never see the same thing.
Right.
So that's funny you say that today. I was talking to somebody about a deal who was a realtor, and he was like, I was like, do you guys do terms? And he's like, yeah, the only way we're going to do terms is if you put 20, 30% down. I was like, I don't know one person in their right mind.
Norm. That's the norm.
Is it the norm?
Like that's the norm in their mindset.
Head, right. And I was like, mindset. Is that? I was like, so you've done creative? He's like, yeah, I've been doing this for 15 years. I was like, and you've never done zero down? Yeah. I just did zero down like a couple months ago. Yeah. You've never done that, and you've been doing this for 15 years. But I like what you said too. It's a red flag because it's like, oh, I know what I'm talking about, right? Like, forget everybody else.
And then you look at how many deals they've done in the last 12
months. Well, it's like, just mind-boggling that they've done it for 20 years, but what I'm trying to explain to them, they've never done before in the 20 years of experience.
It's an evolving game.
Right. You got to stay learning.
I've been playing, like, let's say, like, Will Chamberlain's like, I've been playing basketball for, 30 years. It's like, well, you cannot play against LeBron because the game has just evolved so much. Yeah, I guess you can maybe like mix in there, but you're not playing at the highest level. And if you're trying to hire somebody at the highest level, that's maybe not the person. But there's also people though that have been doing it for a while that know their stuff.
Oh yeah, I
do
agree.
Transactions.
I 100%
if you
agree.
Perceive, like if you come across like this is my value, or I know what I'm talking about because of this many years of experience, that's a red flag.
So if you say you've been doing a realtor for 20 years and that's all you bring to the table, it's a red flag. Yeah, don't tell people that unless you bring some other value.
Yeah,
you
at that point.
Hey, you know what? Tell them. Facts. I like that. Yeah. And it's coming from an actual realtor saying that. And how do you feel about wholesalers?
I like them. I mean, it's product market fit, If there's a product out there and there's a market and you combine them together. But yeah, Pace, I feel like it's the one who like talks about shit about realtors, like, oh, they don't know what they're talking about. And it's kind of true.
There's a lot of them out there.
Especially how he's like, I don't know if he's the one who pioneered this 0% creative finance.
No, he's just really good at marketing. But it's been around since the 70s. He's the one who's like
bring it up. Yeah.
Creative finance is, but you want to know how creative finance started?
With the high interest rates
in the 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if you talk to some older realtors that know their shit,
right,
they'll be like, "Oh yeah, no, that's normal." You know?
Exactly.
And then,
why would I go to an institution when I can get a negotiated rate for way less than what the institution is offering?
Right.
And now your seller's making more money because over time, you're appreciating on that money versus having to pay 35% capital gains. Yeah. That's a new way that we're trying to approaching.
It's true. No, it's good, and it's more. You're seeing it more and more. In these deals, and it's really cool, especially with these high interest.
Have you done any type of mentorship or courses that you've paid for, or what have you spent money on as far as education or mentorship or masterminds?
So I don't know if you guys remember Jay Monopoly when he was in the game.
I've heard of Jay Monopoly.
Jay Monopoly and Levi. They actually started in Oceanside. They're wholesalers back in like 17, 18, 19. It's like height of their wholesale. Really? I got like one of their mentorships. They like broke down their business structure. It was actually too advanced for me at the time. I spent like $1,200.
Not bad.
So I need to go over those notes now. Yeah. But
you might want to go back. This might be used now.
Yeah, I know. Like they, how they would structure their LLCs. They would do Delaware LLCs. I'm sure you guys probably heard that.
Yeah. I mean,
and the way they would like mitigate their risk and use certain addresses from certain states and they also talk about taxes.
I got a juicy question for you.
Yeah, man.
It might be a little controversial or however you want to take it, but
talk your shit, Ed.
Yeah.
Do you regret becoming a realtor, or would you rather join the dark side into investing or wholesaling?
Would you give up your license if it came time to it? Like Ryan Pineda was a realtor at one point, and then he just let his license go because he didn't see a need for it.
Right.
Would you ever do that?
Yeah, I mean, if it comes down to that.
Short answer.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm there. No, because like, you're always evolving, right? So I don't know yet what my final form is, but I'm thinking it may be some form of like development.
Okay.
And if I'm doing development deals on certain units, I'm I don't want to be using my license. I want to have somebody to take over.
You're gonna have to hire a realtor. You don't want to be the guy.
Or I don't. I don't know. But if it calls for it, I mean, it's not something that I'm gonna hold on to my life. But I think it's beneficial in a certain way. You kind of are a public figure in a way. It's kind of interesting.
Since you've had your license.
No. I'm saying just as a realtor in general, because you're there to, because really you have a fiduciary responsibility to your client. So
to look into the best interest of your client.
In the best interest of them. So then it's more like I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to go the extra mile, like even when I'm not getting paid for it. And
a lot of realtors do a lot of work, and then it's like
honest
nothing.
Work, dude. Yeah. It's a lot of honest work, honestly, and that's why they don't like investors, because investors are like, yo, there's no money in here, I'm out.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking to a buyer and they haven't showed you proof of funds, dude, you're gonna hang up on them. You know what I mean? Rather, a realtor, even if they don't show you proof of funds, and it may be somebody recommended, for example, a previous client recommends somebody to you, they want to go see this house, you don't know if they're pre-approved or not. They may be like wishy-washy about that, but they want to go see the house. What I would recommend is go show them the house to get them on the line, and then have a conversation there about it. But if nothing comes out of it, you just spent 2-3 hours out of your day, taking this person on, also looking through houses to try to find them.
It almost helps build rapport. So
exactly, you're building rapport.
Giving new realtors some advice,
right?
You might feel like you're wasting your time.
You might feel like you're wasting your time.
You should do it because you never know what you might get out of it.
Exactly, and it's the best way to go about it. It's a different way of doing business, which is kind of how we morphed into this interesting kind of like investing realtor type of thing. We're not like these wolves. We're not like, we don't get these crazy discounted properties, or we don't do this crazy amount of volume, but we play within the parameters that we know what we're good at. Yeah. And it works out for us. Like, for example, $1 million houses, it's a bigger price point, but on a $600,000 house, if you're making 8% on it versus a $1 million house, you're making 8%. It's worth it at the $1 million,
because you're doing it off margin percentage.
Yeah, it's off of margin. Yeah, it's off of margin. Smart. And a lot of especially for wholesalers, like, oh, don't bring a deal if it's not 70% ARV. Yeah, like there's certain areas I won't take if it's 70%, or maybe even if it's 60%. I won't take it, because also another thing too is, if you're getting hard money, it's your holding costs. Just like I was talking about my dad. My dad ended up losing those 2 houses because he couldn't rent them out. He couldn't sell them because it was after a market crash. You can't sell anything.
Nothing selling.
So he had to hold these houses for like a year, and that's what killed him. And he ended up losing them. Yeah. So I guess in the back of my mind, I guess it's always about mitigating risk. So it's like, what's the fastest way we can get in and out and have some money? Now, if we're doing development, we got to build in this 1 year, 2 year holding costs into the margin and take that into consideration. But at this $1 million price point, I mean, $1 million nowadays here in San Diego, that's like affordability, which is crazy, right? It's still like, you're still not getting a crazy house, right. But it's people, they're it's 2 people with an income about $250,000, right? Which here it's like, that's kind of,
it's like the norm.
Yeah, you're kind of middle class at that point, and so there's I'm saying that to say that there's a lot of people in the market for those type of homes. Right now, if we get into $2 million, I don't want to touch a $2 million home, because the holding costs and also the amount of repairs with the square footage. Unless it's small square footage, then that's a little bit easier to manage. But still, the amount of buyers that are out in that market for a $2 million house is probably like half of what it is for a $1 million house.
So speaking on $1 million flips, tell us about your first $1 million flip you did. How'd you find it? How'd you find it first of all?
So that was actually brought to us by a realtor buddy of us.
Okay, so a pocket listing.
Yeah, pocket listing. That guy owns freaking 14 houses himself.
The guy who sold it to you.
The guy who facilitated it.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, it was his neighbor actually. His neighbor sold it. Yeah.
So why do you sell it to you guys instead of just listing?
Because he likes us. Damn. That guy. Well, that, and then also the lady, she wanted a fast.
She wanted fast and easy.
She wanted it fast and easy.
But I think the point of that is relationships.
Yeah, for sure, relationships.
Had you not had that relationship, you probably would have never gotten that deal.
No. And at first, to be honest, it didn't make too much sense.
The numbers,
it was close, but when you're flipping, it's also very rate sensitive because depending on what the interest rates do is the price fluctuation,
right?
And on a 1% increase or on a 0.5% increase, we're talking about tens of thousands of dollars that your house can now
drop in value,
or shift. When you're a seller that's owned this house for 20 years, that doesn't matter. But when you're running on $100,000 margin or $80,000 margin, and then now it's fluctuating where now it went from 80 to 60, and you have partners, it's a little bit different,
right? So, okay, I can see that. So, did you guys fluctuate up or down at that time?
It fluctuated up.
Oh, so you got caught in it.
No,
you got caught in the hike.
Yeah. It went up. Well, it made sense in terms of, and back to our business model, we choose really good locations. So even though maybe the spread wasn't exactly where we wanted it to be, it was a great location.
So it sold quick.
Yeah, it sold quick. It sold in 6 days. And then also I look at like the microeconomics, right? So why would you buy this house versus anything 5 mile radius from here, right? Well, it's because if you just cross the San Dieguito River here and you just see those houses across the way, that's now Rancho Bernardo, 1,500 square feet home there is 1.2. Rather, ours is a 2,400 square foot for 1.2.
Okay.
Just crossing the bridge.
Okay.
So then at that point you understand. And then, 10 minutes further south, you got Sony employees, HP employees, Apple employees, Amazon employees. So that the money is there, the talent is there. So, and then also,
so you understood the economics of your location, not just comps.
Exactly. It's the micro, and that's kind of where the realtor value comes in. And that's what you said your homie that does international business. Like to me, that's a little bit crazy, and I understand, and I believe it's doable. But you just have to do your due diligence on it. You got to spend several hours. But he's probably a beast. I have no idea how he does it.
Spencer, who's pretty well known actually. He's out of Orange County. Yeah. And we met him through Vivian Yip. Shout out Vivian Yip with Corporate Rentals USA. She does midterm rentals, but she spoke at an event. He was one of the speakers there also. Wow. And we were just going to support Viv.
I actually have no idea what his business model is, which now intrigues me.
So he literally, they don't just do Mexico. They do because he's Chinese. He was doing the thing where he was like bringing people together to go to China, and he needed not only
development deals or
I think he just like sells. He's a realtor. He's an international realtor. Okay. It is a kind of a cool model.
That is. I've never heard of that.
He's buying in China. So he does like China development. They got development in Mexico, Costa Rica, and essentially
Dubai as well.
Yeah, you can either buy property from him or you can buy into a pool, and it's almost like
syndication.
Yeah, to help build it, and then you get like equity splits.
Dude, he must have clout to be able to do that.
He's pretty well known. Look him up, Spencer Who. He's pretty
That's some big boy stuff right there.
But internationals. So me personally, I like traveling. My thing is you travel, I'm sure, to Mexico a lot too. So same, you can tell the difference in culture and where you go. So for me, I want real estate internationally. I don't want to just own in the United States. Don't get me wrong, love the United States, great country. But for me, I want anywhere there's a beach with waves, right? Costa Rica, Panama, El Salvador.
You got a student out there in Salvador right now.
Yeah. So where would you go? Where have you been other than Mexico? Let's ask you that.
Honestly, I haven't been anywhere else actually.
So you need to travel.
The U.S. and Mexico. Yeah. I'm actually trying to travel more. So actually, I guess I have a little traveling. So before I had a different theory about traveling until I started traveling more. Before I was like,
what was your theory?
That I want to travel when I have money to do like the coolest stuff. But I changed my model around.
You want to have the experience.
Now it's more about the experience. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
It's more about finding inspiration out of, forgetting about whatever's going on at home, and then finding inspiration that you could bring back to your house.
No, that's makes a very
really
good point. I
Yeah.
find some of my best ideas when I'm on vacation somewhere.
That's awesome.
Has that ever happened to you? Because you said
I don't find my best ideas there. I go there, I absorb everything, and when I come back, I don't know, I just kind of like mix in what I do.
You decompress.
And then the ideas come once I'm here.
Okay.
But I guess
never when you're on vacation.
Not really.
Okay.
Not my biggest ideas. It's more like when I call it go mode.
Okay. So when you get back into go mode after vacationing.
Right. I kind of put it together. You know, it's like kind of like, I guess I pick up the puzzle there and I come back home and put it together at home. Yeah. So I guess my mini vacation plan is like, I've been around Mexico, Tulum, Cancun, Puerto Vallarta, other smaller areas like in the middle section of Jalisco. And I love the culture, but I actually want to travel down south too, and it's just
South America.
Yeah, South America, and then after South America, do Europe. My dad said he wanted to go to Africa because he had a buddy there, and I was like, dude,
Africa,
let me know. I'm down.
You know what?
I'm down.
I don't know where I saw this at, but Africa's got really good real estate right now, and it's like on the up.
I've seen
like
that.
South
and
Africa,
I have no idea.
Africa in general, like Ghana, Kenya,
insane.
even like Nigeria,
and that just
South Africa.
that just shows you too. It's like there's so much real estate activity going on in the rest of the world, and these places are not top 10 places of the world, and San Diego is.
Right.
So then people here complaining about deals or this or that, or or even people that are buying, they're like skeptical. It's like, bro, do you know that you're like one of the top cities in the world? Like it'd be if prices here crash, the world's gonna crash.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It starts here.
Yeah.
You don't feel it in Texas as much, barely in Florida. But if California, like 2008, was probably bigger numbers here than anywhere else.
Right.
So, what else you got from Ed?
Yeah. What do you like to? What do you like to do outside of real estate? Do you have like any hobbies? Do you collect things? Other than traveling, do you like
Who's Emiliano?
experiences?
Ooh.
Yeah. What was Emiliano before real estate?
Before real estate?
He was flipping cards, and he owned Napster.
Oh, right. The next Napster.
He was supposed to be Napster and flipping
hobbies.
Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
I love sports. I guess all through high school.
What kind of sports?
I mean, now, dude, anything. Like really, like
You're just
I'm a little bit.
competitive?
I'm very competitive.
I like that.
Yeah, anything. Like lately, I've been getting into golfing. That's been my latest venture. I just like to compete.
Yeah,
you know? It's like, and it's funny because I just realized that a lot of people golf and drink.
Yeah,
especially my buddies.
Yeah,
but I hate it.
Yeah,
because then I lose focus. I'm no longer competitive. I'm just getting like
faded.
Faded. Yeah, you're getting faded. But I'm getting mad because you lose balance. You know, you lose balance.
So
I'm
you
like
get too drunk. Yeah.
No, and not even drunk. Just like 2 beers, it just changes my mindset.
Yeah.
Or even one beer will change my mindset. Will change my equilibrium. It will change like the way I hold the club, my grip. Like it alters the way that you play. So it's funny because it's like a lot of people play golf to drink. My rule is I don't drink when I golf. It's just like I wouldn't drink if I play basketball.
Right.
You know.
Well,
so,
Jesus, can imagine.
Yeah. Or to anything else. Like you lose.
Like
focus,
I come to play to win. I'm not here to
also
just
like
BS.
I'm actually what it is I love that natural high of like, I guess for basketball to be like boom, you do the crossover and then boom, you hit the 3, right? It's like that natural high right there. It's like that's
when you actually hit something, you're like, yeah. So is basketball like second or?
I mean, no, not really soccer. So in high school, I played soccer, football, and I played basketball. I would have played soccer and basketball there in the same season though, so I had to pick one. And I grew up playing soccer. I'm actually trying to get into a soccer league, like indoor soccer league, to like be consistently doing something. Because I'm like always changing it up. Lately, I've been really consistent in the gym just to be like healthy. I've noticed that I just have like a better mental state. Like I'm sure you guys.
Yeah.
Agree with that.
100%.
I feel like it's cloudy. Like if there's a week that I don't work out, or if I don't work
or even
out,
a day.
I do 5 days. 5 days. So
you
I go
take 2 days off.
2 days off. Yeah.
Cool.
So if I honestly, if I do 3 days, I'll still really feel it. Like I feel like this little cloudiness. I don't feel clarity. It's
My
weird.
days off, I just go surfing.
That's awesome, dude. Also, I picked up surfing.
Let's
I
go
picked
paddle
up
out.
surfing. I suck, so I'm gonna drown.
Drowning like Ed?
Dude, it's
We'll
hard, bro.
It's
hard.
It's not easy.
So I started surfing and snowboarding at the same time.
Oh.
I'm not a
You're
beast.
beating
I'm
yourself
not a
up.
beast at snowboarding, but I can get down the hill. Oh yeah,
we
went
went
together.
I went snowboarding with this guy actually.
You guys, do you know how to skate?
Yeah, I know how to skate. I grew up skating too, riding
So you,
bicycles, riding horses.
What, kickflip, tray flip? Can you actually get down?
I can do
an ollie.
No. I can do an ollie. I can do a kickflip. I mean,
Okay.
it'll take me several tries. But
It's
like
been
the
a while,
coolest
yeah.
one, I think it was. I think it might have been a tray flip. Like the
Yeah.
coolest
Oh,
trick
nice.
I've ever done.
Can I be honest with you? I
What's
can
up?
only just power slide 180, shove it out. That's it.
Dude, that's it.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
It
Skating
sounds good,
I
but
can't-
it's just really.
I can't power slide.
It's just like a little power slide and then
Like
180 out.
bombing hills and stuff.
Yeah, I can't.
Oh, it's so
Oh,
much
I
fun.
can't do that at all.
I'd bomb hills, but I wouldn't power slide. I'd just either jump. To
So
the
much
side
fun.
and But no, yeah, a little bit of everything. Know how to ride bicycle, horses.
Yeah.
You're like
Amateur.
well-rounded.
Just a little bit, yeah.
You're like
I
a
just
golden
I just
child. I feel like, did you win championships in high school?
No, nothing like that.
No?
I was terrible. I'm just like average, dude.
More like
I'm not just
Would you
I'm
kick-
just
What a way
straight
to talk
average.
about yourself like that. I'm just average.
No, when it comes to, I'm just honest. Like
Yeah,
I'm not
keep it
amazing
simple.
at anything. But like any average Joe, I'll kick their ass. But I'm no pro, you know.
Are you into sports betting? My bad.
What's
sports
up?
Ooh,
betting.
Not at all,
sports
dude.
betting.
I hate betting. I think I
You
bet
don't
enough.
gamble at all?
I think I gamble enough on these flips. I don't need to gamble anymore.
I like that.
Especially when like on the first $1 million flip.
Yeah.
Let's talk about price ranges, right? The comp to it started at $1,050,000,
Okay.
fell out of escrow, and they went back into escrow at $1,020,000.
So wait.
No, sorry, $1,150,000.
So a comp you used,
No, a comp that was on the market was very similar, same neighborhood.
the same time you were listed, not something.
Right before we were gonna
for the
list,
flip.
it went on the market.
So it's dropping your
it
market
went pending,
value.
yeah, and then it was on the market for a little bit, and it ended up closing at, because it closed before ours. We're in escrow when they closed,
Okay.
and they closed. I think it was at $1,050,000,
Mhm.
and we were in escrow for $1,220,000.
So you originally had comps at 1.2 or 1.1,
So comps out at 1.2
1.2.
because they were selling theirs at 1,150.
and you
ours
dropped
was
yours
better.
all the ways down to
No,
like
no, no, no.
almost $1 million.
They sold for for almost $1 million.
So you thought you were gonna get like 100, 200K, and it dropped down to like 100.
No. I thought that the appraisal was gonna screw us, and it was gonna come in low. I thought we were gonna get a low
Oh,
appraisal
because
because we
of
were
that
in
comp.
escrow, and the appraisal hadn't, because that was the most recent, like literally closed within days,
Mhm.
most recent comp, same neighborhood,
Mhm.
like, and in that neighborhood actually there's some crazy fluctuations between 2022 to 2023 during that little up down market.
Mhm.
So it was really hard to comp too.
Mhm.
So
It's one of those weird neighborhoods.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and I knew
Don't
the
want those
appraisal
now.
was the appraiser was gonna lean a lot on this house, and it was 170,000 under what we're selling it.
Mhm.
Obviously, it wasn't as nice as ours or renovated, but still, at that point it becomes subjective. Price becomes subjective at that point, and they could be like, "Oh well, I think you guys put in 70,000 instead of 150
Mhm.
or whatever."
Mhm.
And then now you come in with a low appraisal, then the buyer's like, "Hey, so your house is not worth 1.220. Appraisal came in at 1,100,000 or 1,150,000. Now you're 70,000 under."
So
what
your
the offer was.
estimated profit was what? Your estimated profit in the beginning was how much?
About
You're like, all right, we're estimating this much, but then we made this much, right?
I think our estimated profit at the beginning was around 70 to 80,000.
And then it dropped down.
No.
You guys made more.
We ended up making more.
For
Yeah.
your first one?
No, that was technically our second one. That was our first million.
Nice.
Our first million.
Okay,
well, technically our third one.
Second
our
flip, first $1 million
that
flip.
was ours.
Dope.
That we had under control.
That's a scary margin too.
That is. Do you get? He is right. He's like, I'm gambling. I'm gonna just gamble in real estate, guys. If you guys were feeling Emiliano, you're a realtor in the San Diego area, and you don't want to be a normal realtor, and you want to join a laid-back, chill, easygoing team that teaches you also investment properties, reach out to my boy Emiliano. Emiliano, you got any last words that you want to tell anybody before we go?
No. Yeah, I mean, like I said, deal with the cards that you're, do the best job that you can with dealing with the cards that you're given. Focus on what you're best on, and don't worry about where you are today, because it's not where you're going to be at tomorrow, another year, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just focus on doing, just like my dad. That guy's like, knows nothing about operation, but he just does stuff. And at the end of the day, doers get rewarded.
Where can people find you at?
IG is the best way to find me at.
What's your IG?
Emiliano, Emiliano, 1 of 1.
1 of 1.
1 of 1. Nice.
I like that.
I was going to do the official, but I felt like
I'm mad that I did that. I feel like it's too long. Should did like real.
Yeah, you gotta keep it short. Like mine, just 11 Nava.
Just put B.
It's so
you gotta
simple.
change 11 Nava. Just put Ed.
That'd be cool.
Ed Nava. All right, guys. Thank you for staying tuned. Tune in next week. Thank you for PropStream for everything. Shout out.